I've heard a few people say that this is the case why so many adults are now estranged from their parents. And I think there's some truth to this. I do think there is a social aspect in which it's become something that we know more about, we hear more about, and so it doesn't seem as taboo as it once was. It's kind of like divorce happening in the 50s was super taboo and you didn't tell anybody, and now it's just like, whatever, okay, that happens. And I'm not saying it's not a terrible thing. I'm just saying that socially, it's not anymore a huge, ginormous taboo in most communities. It's kind of accepted as a part of life. It's not great, but it happens. But I also think the thing about this is that part of the reason that adults being estranged from their parents is much more common now is that there is awareness that not everybody's family was perfect. For so long, families were held up as this perfect image in media, in society, as having, the nuclear family was the ideal. And people worked really hard to make sure that from the outside, that's how their family looked. And what we didn't recognize is that so many of us grew up where nobody could tell from the outside that there was problems, but on the inside there was covert abuse happening. There was really terrible mental and social and emotional abuse happening to children. And as they got to be adults, they recognized that they had a choice. And so, yes, I do think there is an aspect in which, our society influences these things, but I'm not sure I would call it social contagion. I think it's a lot more that we've discovered that people can make choices and they don't have to stay. Like, it used to be that you had to have your family because that was your village, and without them you could not survive life. And what we're seeing is a lot more people who are creating their own support system, and so they don't have to stay close to people who are hurtful at the expense of their own mental health. And I think that's a really big difference.